We got some new smartphones, Will. You're a big smartphone guy. Tapping, scrolling.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Snapping.
A lot of that.
Realme claims, at least in the case of this one on the left, the X2 Pro, they're calling it the full-speed flagship. A flagship killer, Jack. At a fraction of the price. You know how this goes. They come in hot. They come in ready. See this? Like the Fighting Irish.
Yeah.
I'm gonna focus on the higher end model for now. Snapdragon 855 Plus. 50-watt charging. You can charge it up fully in just over half an hour. You have AMOLED in the display. Depending on the spec that you get, either 8 or 12 gigabytes of RAM. It's got a 90 hertz refresh on the display, so we've become familiar with that now. This like must-have thing. It gives you this feeling of speed, instantaneous feedback. A quad camera setup, 64 megapixel, 5 times optical hybrid zoom, and 20x hybrid zoom. There's also an ultra wide on there. That's a spec list. The specs you expect, and then what's the price spec? This one converted for USD, it's around 450 bucks. So now you're definitely paying attention. You're paying attention, right, Will? 4,000 milliamp hour battery as well. Okay, so now let's check out the construction. Of course, we gotta care. They've included a case. Nice little freebie in there. The device over here. I have the pearl whitish blue gradient looking thing. That's kind of nice. You can see the camera layout in the center there. You have 4 separate modules. The top one's 64 megapixels. This one here is gonna be your ultra wide. And I guess there's a depth sensor at the bottom as well. So it's got this water drop style notch. The camera is almost the entire size of the notch. There's no fancy Face ID, face unlock, sensors and things like that. It's strictly optical if you choose to use the face unlock, but many manufacturers have gone this direction to minimize the size of the notch. Google, not one of those companies. Apple, not one of those companies. OnePlus, one of those companies. A USB Type-C connector. We have a headphone jack, ladies and gentlemen. A headphone jack, Willie do. We have our power switch, also identified by a little gold tinge, a gold touch. This is an important part. That's the Super Vooc charger. Can I get you to say that for me, Will?
Super Vooc.
Easy there.
Yeah.
It's a little much. It's a family show. It's worthwhile for us to crack into the standard X2 because this one's going to be targeted at the even more budget conscious. Can we get a price on this one, Will?
$250 US?
Around $250 US. So you can find this one between $420, $450, somewhere in that range. The standard X2, on the other hand, it's kind of more like $220 to $250. So even that model gets a case to go with it. Once again, we have this pearlescent vibe, but it's a slightly different implementation of the gradient. Camera module is offset. It's over to the side instead of being in the center of the device as it is on the Pro version. 6.4 versus 6.5. Okay. And the battery's the same as well. So, and fast charging, 50 watts on the Pro, 30 watts on the non-Pro. So the biggest difference between the two, you have a 700 series Snapdragon. This is going to be your mid-range model versus the top-of-the-line flagship 855 Plus in the bigger one. So you got the charging, you got the different display, you got the different chip, and you have about $200 difference. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go back to the Pro. So we are at the face enrollment section of the setup. Oh, this one's a little... Wow, how did it... What? That was really fast. I'm skeptical of the face unlock thing because it happened so... It was none of... There was none of that. Oh, man. This optical face unlock is so fast where there's no animation even. It's just, it's some crazy technology. Look, okay, it's not looking at me. Nothing, bang. I mean, it's always this trade-off. Well, convenience, security. If you're into convenience, it is really tough to beat these super quick optical face unlocks. I mean, what about the profile? Oh yeah, the profile. He's getting on the profile too. So there's a lot of technology floating around.
Yeah.
The main takeaway for me here, 90 hertz, guys. 90 hertz. If you haven't experienced 90 hertz, what can I tell you? I can't help you. The camera is not quick enough to catch it, but to my eyeballs, it's all happening. the Pixel, the recent Pixel, as well as the OnePlus, they have this. And then when you go to a device like I did to the iPhone that doesn't, it's an instantaneous thing. You do adapt. It's one of those modern features that you notice. So the display is AMOLED. Yes, it's got a bit of a bezel around it. Not the most aggressive screen to body ratio. I believe it's above 90%. They say 91.7%. We should probably snap a photo. We're going natural in 3, 2, 1. Those are real beard hairs. I can attest to them. You can yank them, it will hurt. Jack, you see the pores? That's the detail I'm looking for. Look at the pores in the cheek there. That's what I'm looking for, Will. Others are trying to smooth. I would like to see the raw detail, reality as it stands. Rear camera, here we go. All right, so we have, that is your 1X standard focal range. It's triggering automatic HDR. We take the photo. We click this button up to 2X. Grab our focus. Kabam. We go up to 5X hybrid. Boom. And we go to our ultra wide, which starts to pick up my hand, so I'll switch my grip. The best part about having these various options is just being able to get a shot you might not otherwise be able to get. It's the versatility factor. So that's a very wide image, obviously. We have our zoom. That's quite the zoom. Keep in mind, we're lit pretty well in here, so that's probably why that's looking so sharp. Wow, that's looking incredibly sharp. This is your 2X zoom, and there is your standard focal range. 2X zoom looking maybe nicer than the standard focal range. Anyhow, shout out. We like to watch the show from downstairs because Will's a big fan of it. That's your cropped look with the black bars. Of course, we zoom in and we're fine. And then we hit the volume real quick. And according to Killian Bell on Cult of Mac, that next thing is almost here. This is Apple's long-rumored AR glasses. $450. You're watching video, AMOLED, 90 hertz, Snapdragon 855 plus, bunch of cameras to choose from, pearl type finish, 50-watt charger, full charge in half an hour. Willie do.
Vooc.